Okay, we're back. So I'm with my good friend James Keoughan with the Keoughan Group with Ali Beth Allman. James, so we went to Colleyville and we recorded that on March 4th. And I was in my shorts. So we had this weird weather, right? So I show up in shorts and the weather was, it seemed like we were going to have this nice spring weather. But then the next week we went to Grapevine and it was freezing cold, right? So welcome to Texas weather in the spring.
There's a saying about that, Ron. In Texas, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
And it changes. So.
That's true. But we're now recording this as a kind of a post follow-up. And we're now in April and we're in the throes of the home buying season. And in fact, James was so busy, we have not had an opportunity to go and record more. But tell us what you've been up to. Like, what's going on? Are you seeing more inventory? I know that was a challenge when we were filming in South Lake and Colleyville and a great fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, the buyers, I've got 14 buyers and I've got 5 or 6 listings. I've got a couple that are coming on the market here in just the next week or two. Right around the beginning of May, I've got a couple of listings coming on the market, but it's still strong. Lots of interest. I took photos of a new listing that's not even going to be coming for, it'll be now probably another week or so. But I've had agents reaching out to me asking me if I had anything, and I let them, I actually showed them this property just while I was there taking photos. I let them come through and see it. So so we're not on the market yet. We will be in a few days, but so there's still buyers that can't find inventory to purchase. It's still a very low inventory market, but I have seen in the recent couple of weeks here at the end of April, really about mid-April, I've started to see the inventory tick up. So that's a good sign for buyers. And I think one of the things we're going to talk about today is pricing and what some folks are having to do. A lot of sellers sometimes, they don't know where to price their home. The agents don't know where to price the homes, right? We have this trailing stats of homes that listed and then sold, but that was a month or 2 or 3 months ago. And because there's such low inventory, see that when you price a home, you really want to try to find comparable properties that have recently sold. You want them as close to that property as possible, right? You could find a home in the same neighborhood, relatively the same size, having the same amenities. So, you want to try, let's say you've got a house that you're going to list 4 bedrooms. It's on a 1/4 of an acre. It's got a 3-car garage and a pool. Well, you want to try to find that, because if you find a home that doesn't have a pool, well, that may skew your pricing. If you find a home that has a 2-car garage or is a 3-bedroom, right, in the same neighborhood, and that's possible. Or you could find a 5-bedroom with a 4-car garage. I mean, so, you can have all of that in the same neighborhood. So what you have to try to do is really find the property that matches as close to possible the property you're going to list. And because of the lack of inventory, it's been difficult to find those comps over the last few months that have sold in the same neighborhood. So sometimes you're having to manipulate the comps to calculate a price to list the home at. And when we're in an upwardly moving market, where do you try to get ahead of the market? Do you keep up with the market? The information you're using is already history, right? Because it may have closed a month or 2 or 3 ago, and the market's moved. So it's kind of when the market is moving this fast, it's almost a guessing game. My suggestion is you market the property at what seems to be market value. You look at properties that are currently available and properties that sold, and do an analysis of not just solds, but also actives, and kind of use all those properties as a judge and a benchmark to list the property for. But you can miss it. You can overshoot it. You can undershoot it. But what happens if you price it at market or as very close to market as you can come up with, the market responds because they've been out looking at other houses around maybe that neighborhood or around that city. And they're like, oh, wait, here's a house. It's got everything we're looking for. And for instance, I had a house in Keller that I listed a couple of weeks ago, listed it for $850. And I thought I was pushing. I thought I was reaching to get that number. No. 125,000 over asking. Yeah. Now, did I under? No, because I was using comps that were in the history, and I did find a couple in that neighborhood that were fairly close. But here's the thing, that particular property had been updated, and it was on a peninsula it overlooked a lake. I mean, it was one of these properties. And when the photos came out, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. It's a rare property that you find that has all of these things, updates that are current with the current colors and the designs, and the tile work was some of them, the decorated tile work. And then they had the furnishings and the decor that matched. It all just seamlessly went together, and it was a beautiful property. And then the scenery of the overlooking of the lake and the backyard with the pool. I mean, it just was like it all came together. It was a perfect storm. I had an open house there it was on a Sunday, again, a couple of weeks ago, from 12 to 2, and I had 105 people come through the house in 2 hours. Just so that goes to show you that the market is still lacking in inventory when you have, again, this was a special property, but still 105 people in 2 hours. That's nuts. I mean, I made them take their shoes off, and it looked like I was opening a shoe store when he walked in. It's like 30 pairs of shoes at one time. It's like, pick. I got leather ones. I got sneakers. I got size 2 to size 12. It's crazy.
That's crazy. I saw one of my agent friends. She sent me a video. Haley, she sent a video of it was all of these prospective buyers, and they were all already on the wait list for a new construction, and it was a lottery, and there were 100 of them lined up for one house, for one opportunity, but you had to be there. I mean, give me a break.